Today I'd like to tell you about black people in Russia and about the attitude of Russians to black people. I checked the statistics and it says that nowadays it's from 40 to 70,000 black people who live in Russia temporarily or every time. And I think I have to give you the context why black people come to Russia most of all, and who are these people. Usually they are Africans and they are students who came to Russia to study in the university to get high education. As some Russian joke, their families have got not enough money to send them to USA or to some Western countries, but enough money to send them to Russia. So, of course, we need to understand that mostly they come from not poor families. These families are wealthy and probably well educated, and they want to give education to their kids too. Usually, Africans come to Russia to study medicine or some technical sciences or some military stuff. And I can tell you that maybe because of this context or just, I don't know, in general, but I would say that in Russia, attitude to black people is good because yes, of course, that's my perception, and I can tell that when I was a kid, so maybe 20 years ago, there were skinheads, as I think everywhere, and yes, there were cases when they kicked black people or everyone who is not white, but nowadays I don't hear about skinheads at all for a very long time. And usually Russians, I could say that mostly in big cities, they are okay with that. Maybe that's just unusual. So I mean that usually if there is a black person, they will be one in the public transport, on the street, or everywhere, just one black person. So of course, maybe people can look more at them just because they take more attention. I think I could compare this with white or black people coming to Asian country. So of course you will be different from them. I talk about the appearance, and maybe you will take more attention, attract more attention, but not really so. No one is going to stare at you, but just you will be more visible on the street. That's what I mean, or in the transport. In my experience, I can tell that, for example, if there is a black person in school, I had one black guy in school. He was the only one in the whole school, and he was very popular because, and also my relative had the same situation. Her classmate was black, and he was the most popular guy in the class because, firstly, it's unusual, it's exotical, and secondly, there is still, I guess that's a stereotype that there is associations with American culture. So you can have a black friend, and that's something Western, something American, cool. And I think that's one of the reasons why these guys can be popular in school, in the university. In the university, I think no, because there are more black people in the universities, and usually they are just keep together. I don't know, I didn't have them in my university, but I guess so. But yes, in school, for example, yes, I have two cases when they were popular, and maybe someone, of course, I can't know it by myself. Maybe someone can tell about some negative experience, but I never heard about it. Also, now I thought that I never heard about some negative news about black people in Russia. So if there were some news, they were positive or neutral, or there were just some news about, oh, there are black people working, black person working as a doctor in some Russian city. That's very unusual. But yes, there are such kind of examples, and that's very rare. That's a unique thing, but they work, and they said that it's okay. So something like this. Also, by the way, the interesting fact that the most famous Russian poet, Alexander Pushkin, who lived in the 19th century. His grandfather was also black African, and he came to Russia. I really don't remember how it happened that he came to Russia, but he was here with aristocracy, with the emperor. So I guess the attitude was okay to him, and he got kids there, and his grandson became the most famous Russian poet. So something like this, and also I could see black people in Russia in TV shows or as a performers, again, because it's unusual, it's exotical, and again, maybe even 20 years ago or 10 years ago, when Russia wanted to be like West very much, it was very trendy to have a black guy on TV, or it was very unusual, again, because it was associated with USA, so musicians wanted to have black people in their music videos or something like this, and still I can see them. I think, yes, I think it works like, again, if you are a white person or black and you come to Asian country or in India, and I heard that it's very easy to go to the cinema there or to some TV shows because you are unusual and unique, and you can play all white or black guys there. Maybe the movies or series won't be very well. I mean, the quality won't be very well, but at least you can get this job as a performer. And I think in Russia it works the same. One more thing I wanted to tell about is how we call black people in Russia. We use, for black person, we use word "neger", and this word is not something offensive or nothing at all, nothing at all something bad. It's just the word which means the race of the person, like, you know, Asian or something like this. But I'm not sure is it can be perceived as offensive abroad, for example. But I remember that when I was a teenage, my mom, she asked me when we were in England, and that was the first time I saw so many black people, and my mom, she asked me not to use word "neger" because she was afraid that it can be offensive if someone can hear that. So I don't know, but when we say this, we don't mean anything offensive, that's just a usual word. Also, the funny thing is that black people who are in Russia and they have Russian friends, they can film together some TikToks or reels or something with some racist jokes about black people, but in Russia that's okay, and they also joke about that. And also there are some videos about comparing. So for example, in USA you can't do this, and jokes in Russia, and black person by themselves film something with their Russian friends. So yeah, that's can be quite funny, this contrast. I think that doesn't mean that Russians, there is no racism in Russia. I can tell that we just don't have problems with black people. That's why everyone is okay with them. I would say that there is racism to Muslims, not all, but I mean to the Muslims who show very strong that they are Muslims, and also there is I mean racism, the attitude, which I can see reading the internet or from people. There is a racism to gypsies also. Yes, to gypsies and I guess to Muslims. And by the way, talking about Russian internet, it's much more tough than Western, because you can be intolerant in Russian internet. You can say whatever you want about different nationalities, about females, about everything. Maybe only if you, I don't know, want to say that you want to kill someone or destroy or something, yeah, they delete it. But in general, I know that it's very difficult for Russians to be in Western internet, because Western internet is very tolerant and they always delete bad comments, and in Russian internet it's not like that. And yes, you can tell whatever you want in this case. You can be toxic, you can say if you don't like something or someone. Actually, I can tell that you even can say that you don't like government or something. If you're not really famous media person, you can do this, of course, with all your own risk, and better to do it from anonymous account. But technically, I see these things written in the internet. I can tell that once I needed to read one thing on Reddit, and I read the comments, the discussion, and I felt so strange. I was reading and it was okay, but I felt so strange that no one no one offending each other, and they just discussing something. If they are disagree, they explaining, they give long sentences of explanations, and no one said anything about each other. And that was so unusual. Like, I read the conversation of so intelligent people. No, Russian internet is quite toxic, and of course it can be difficult for the authors, because I can't say that I had this experience because my channel is not so popular, none of my channels, and mostly I get good comments, or if they bad, they're not really bad. I can't say that I get just good comments from foreigners and bad from Russians, no, but Russians don't tend to be polite in the internet, or say express their thoughts in some soft way, not to be rude. And I think that's a problem, because that discourages the authors, so they feel bad posting something in the internet, because they can get such kind of reaction. And yes, I noted that foreigners, they tend to be, yes, more polite, and if they don't like something, not all of course, but they explain it in long sentences, that they usually don't write something like "you are ugly" or "that's stupid," you have no brains. And yes, of course it happens, but I noticed that for Russians it's more common. Or they even can write something positive but in a rude way. And yeah, that's the common thing, typical for Russian internet. I think foreigners don't know about it, because not many of them can read Russian, yes, Russian, and they don't know what they write in the comments or something, only if there is no translation. So, of course, Russian write lots of good comments and supportive comments too, but I'm just talking about negative thing, and it happens because Russian moderation system doesn't work like that, like English. So English, I guess, moderation system bans everything, all the trigger words, and with Russian language, I mean, Russian YouTubers, they can say things which can't be said by English-speaking YouTubers and all the other bloggers. And I'm very happy, because I love black humor, for example, or some even offensive humor, and I'm not sure if I could watch this with if I were English-speaking person, but being a Russian-speaking person, I can watch it. It exists freely on Russian YouTube, and I don't know how, but for some reason it doesn't attract so much attention like English-speaking bloggers. I mean, English-speaking content, so that's why I guess it exists. So, something like this. I think that's what I wanted to say about black people in Russia, about tolerance questions in Russia. I hope that was interesting and informative for you. Thank you for watching, and пока-пока.